Good morning, everyone, and thanks for this very gladful invitation. As the time we have together is very tight today, I will try to address just one principal topic by answering a question I have been asked many times in this period of collaboration with the city of Milan. As we probably all know, tactical urbanism is a set of light practices, let's say light, that have started to be categorized since not more than a decade, and this is a very rough literature on this that you could that anyone who's listening can start to read, but that in a general way have been defined as a set of short-term actions which are able to achieve long-term change. Typically, this and also with the aim to test some effects on urban context, to criticize or reflect on specific aspect, critical aspect of urban phenomena, but also to react quickly to solve problems that are usually solved in longer times by institution. So it is a typical bottom-up approach, typically used by active citizens and groups to act directly on urban context without necessarily passing through institution, or with a long-term aim to activate permanent institutional change of transformation, acts of transformation, of changes, so to create a convergence that usually starts from a bottom-up approach and can become permanent, but in the future. So my question for today is, can a city within its top-down government structures, typically top-down, learn from these practices, and can it use them without being naive or rather appear demagogic in any way? And so my case studies come from Milan today. Milan is not a city with a strong historical cultural public space, I have to admit. It's rather a city where this culture have been forgotten and erased during the last decades, I would say. And it's actually, it's currently a city where cars and construction and buildings occupy the very vast majority of open space, let's say. But in the last 3 to 4 years, several processes have been activated to revert this process and regain, let's say, a good relation with the public space from citizens and from institutions. I say several processes, but the far most important is Piazze Aperte, which translates in open squares, because this is a complex institutional program with that use tactical urbanism, but within a strategical scope. Piazze Aperte is actually ruled by Officina Urbana, which is a group that, an agency internal to the city of Milan, but it works in parallel with the municipality and in collaboration with Bloomberg Associates, NACTO, and Global Design Citizen Initiative. It is not exactly the group where I belong to, but it's a group where my cluster of project is co-creating initiative. I would like to go very quickly about in some images that tell the story of how in these last years Piazza Aperte has been acting on the city. And so you will see some before and after images that I will go quick through, just to portray how this, let's say the Piazza Aperte scope was to change linear typical street type spaces in urban areas into bi-dimensional square-like very flat spaces that can be used by pedestrian and any kind of citizens to be used. This process that, as you can see, is achieved with a very, very light approach of just painting and some very light furniture addiction, is also achieved by the voluntary help of citizens that actually paint together with the municipal officers, and so realize the space and can appropriate it and feel a major sense of belonging to that. So these are some of the results. I go quite quick. This is probably one of the best one in my opinion, as the design is also has been pushed slightly more forward with a high quality urban furniture too. In the very first cycle of this program, the results were already quite enthusiastic in terms of new pedestrian areas, new furniture, but also I would have to say in terms of consensus and of happiness in the feedback by the citizens. So a lot of positive feedback has been received by the municipality after this works. Not that no criticality emerged, we can maybe discuss this later, but the very vast majority of people were extremely happy after this. But what I would like to concentrate a little bit in the last minutes of my presentation is the second cycle of Piazza Aperte process, which actually tried its best to become a fully, let's say, to achieve a most possibly complete convergence between a top-down and a bottom-up approach. And so this process turned itself into an open call for citizens to propose space to be acted onto. So to propose the priority of transformation in the city. Any citizens could apply to this call, being aware that there is only some kind of intervention that can be made under this financing. So there was a project kit, let's say, in the call. So you can use these materials and do these things. Just choose the areas, make a group and propose a change. Also a first selection of areas were provided by the municipality. As you see, 52 areas possible, but with the possibility to propose any kind of other space. And what happened is that a lot of citizens participated. 15 extra areas were proposed in the end after just 2 months of this call being open. So I think it was a really successful process. And also what happened is that a lot of citizens propose a very high quality solutions. These are drawings from the groups of citizens that came to the municipality. A very interesting phenomenon is that many groups of activists and free citizens felt the need to ask for the designers to help them achieve a high quality solution freely without any obliged from the municipality. So this is also a plus point for us to be considered. And this is what will happen. Actually, the answer that we gave to the citizen is that any area will, in a way or another, be realized in the end, but of course in a longer term. So we have some priorities for the most complete project, and then others that have been that must be worked a little bit to be realized. Just to finish with the post-COVID reflection, in this time, what we are seeing, what we saw during the pandemic peak that is still active in many parts of the world, is this kind of scenes in our cities. And so we had to choose between basically renounce to existing rights, or trying to push forward with some curiosity and tried our best to expand our fields of rights. And so, just to match what Bram was telling us in the beginning, what Milan has been doing in this very last months after the pandemic's peak ended, is to learn from other cities that are pushing a lot on pop infrastructure, on soft mobility. And so in March, the city issued a strategy of adaptation to the COVID situation, involving the very quick realization of further 33 35 new kilometers of cycle lanes before the end of the year. Probably there would be more, but this was, let's say, the first phase. And the program that was called Piazze Aperte, Open Square, has now achieved the new character of Open Streets, Strade Aperte, which is for us the same thing, actually. The pedestrianization and an active mobility logic is for us the same, under the same umbrella of thinking. So this is a very important point to stress for me. And so these are some just before and after effects of this new tactical bike lane that are being realized in this very moment in Ondo City. Thank you.